Mika Brzezinski is. Do you have her introducing?
Yeah.
Okay. You now. Neil has been on the program several times, and while we're not buddies or friends per se, I think we have a healthy respect for each other. He is an economist from Harvard, but he is also, I think, at Cambridge and Stanford. And listen to how Mika introduces him. She's all.
Oh, she's impressed with.
She's agog that she's
going
to talk to this. She's going to talk to this really smart guy, and then he proceeds to spank her. And it has to do with our crazy conspiracy theory. Listen to this.
Joining us now from London, the Lawrence A. Tisch Professor of History at Harvard University, Niall Ferguson. Neil is also a senior research fellow at Oxford and Stanford Universities and now a columnist for Newsweek magazine. In the new issue, Neil argues that President Obama blew it when it came to Egypt. And he writes this. The defining characteristic of Obama's foreign policy has been not just a failure to prioritize, but also a failure to recognize the need to do so. A succession of speeches saying, in essence, I am not George W. Bush, is no substitute for a strategy. Neil, welcome back to the show.
Stop. Nice to be back.
Listen to what she... Love this. She's about to present her evidence that everything in Egypt is A-OK.
Solid evidence, too. I think you'll find.
Yeah, I want to hear more about how you think he blew it with Egypt, because looking at all the different reports coming in and the pictures and the peacefulness on the streets of Cairo, so far, so good. It actually seems like it went pretty damn well.
Pretty damn well.
Wow.
Well, you could be forgiven for thinking that, but it's very early days, and can I just remind you that the army is officially in charge of Egypt, which is not what one usually expects from a triumphant democratic revolution. The only thing that seems to not be getting pointed out is that this completely took the administration by surprise, and I mean completely. They admitted that they had not planned for this scenario. I find that absolutely astonishing. This is a man who made a speech in June 2009 in Cairo, a speech which was distinctly touchy-feely, and since then nobody seems to have considered for 5 minutes in the State Department or in the White House that Mr. Mubarak would be overthrown. This was a scenario that was being considered in Israel last year, and I think a question has to be asked about why it wasn't being considered by the National Security Council. What are these people paid to do?
So you're not talking about the actual execution of negotiations during the crisis. You're talking about the lack of preparation and perhaps preemptive action.
Well, I think the execution during the crisis was flip followed by flop, followed by flip. I mean, how many times did the president's position change?
About to get really good.
He wanted Mubarak out. The next, he wanted him to be part of an orderly
about
transition.
To take the paddle
there were
out.
at least 4 different people saying 4 different things. In fact, I came to the conclusion that the United States had 2 foreign policies running concurrently. If it was Monday, it was Secretary Clinton's. If it was Tuesday, it was back to President Obama's.
Let me just challenge you on that.
Shambles.
Neil, a flip followed by flop followed by flip, to use your words, seems to have worked. Did it not?
It's works, has it? Well, I wish I shared your confidence. Right now, we have a 6-month period of military rule. Right now, we have, as far as I can see, virtually no organization on the part of secular Democrats. The only organized opposition force in Egyptian politics right now is the Muslim Brotherhood. Now, if you look closely at what the Muslim Brotherhood stands for, it is for the imposition and enforcement of Sharia law and the restoration of the caliphate. Anybody who counts this as a major breakthrough for United States foreign policy hasn't got a clue about what happens in the wake of a revolution like this.
Like
it is
you,
far
Mika.
too early to say that this is a triumph. On the contrary, the risks are extremely high that between now and the end of the year, the Muslim Brotherhood will get into power, and then we will be staring at something comparable in its magnitude to 1979 in Iran.
Somebody has a warm tushy. Well said. But I'm sure he's just a conspiracy theorist. I'm sure he hasn't seen the pictures. I mean, have you seen the picture? Have you seen the pictures still?
The pictures, you can see people
Smiling.
smiling in the pictures.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Well, this is this right-wing conspiracy theorist, with his whole column on the cover of Newsweek magazine is just out of control. The right-wingers at Newsweek
And really, what are his
so-
credentials? They're just they're silly.
nothing.
Harvard, Cambridge, Stanford.
London School of Economics.
Come on. Yeah, come on. Give us
I'm not
somebody.
sure if he is conservative.
I don't know that he is.
Yeah,
I'm
sure
just
that
saying he's writing. His I believe his column is on the cover of Newsweek magazine.
Yeah.
So I don't think my guess is it's. I mean, you don't come to you don't get the cover of Newsweek unless it's they're calling you a terrorist if you're conservative.
Well, that's all changing. They want to be fair and balanced.
Oh, okay.
That's
what
what they want to do.